teach CBSE 10th Maths. Hey guys, this is Tina. I teach CBSE 8 Maths. Check out our videos on the playlist. Alright, now let's get into the video.
Today we are going to be learning Chapter 13 Surface Areas and Volumes, Exercise 13.2, third question. Alright, now let's read the question. A gulab jamun contains sugar syrup up to about 30% of its volume. Find approximately how much syrup would be found in 45 gulab jamuns, each shaped like a cylinder with two hemispherical ends with length 5 cm and diameter 2.8 cm. Okay guys, so now let us understand this question. Okay, so there is a gulab jamun. So in this question, no, the gulab jamun, no, it is not in a circle shape. Okay, so it is in somewhat like a cylindrical and hemisphere shape. Okay, even we'll draw the figure, no, that time you will understand. Okay, so you can just think it is in the shape of a capsule. Okay, so which contains sugar syrup up to 30% of its volume. So here this 30% of its volume, it's there. No, this word is really important. Okay, so let us underline that. So 30% of its volume. Find approximately how much syrup would be found in 45 gulab jamuns. Okay, so we are supposed to find that how much syrup can 45 gulab jamuns can hold. Okay, so how to find it? So if you want to know how much syrup can a 45 gulab jamuns can hold, if you want to find that, then we should know how much syrup can one gulab jamun hold. Okay, so we are supposed to find how much syrup is there in one gulab jamun. Why? Why? Because if we get to know how much syrup is there in one gulab jamun, then it is absolutely easy to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns. Okay. Okay, so now we are supposed to find how much syrup is there in one gulab jamun. Okay, so now let us read further. Each shaped like a cylinder with two hemispherical ends. So okay, so they are just suggesting about the gulab jamun, in which shape it is in. Okay, so it is in the shape of a cylinder and two hemispherical ends. Okay, so with length 5 cm and diameter 2.8 cm. So since you guys know, according to the question in textbook, when you just look at the textbook, no, they had already given a figure, am I right? So that is just a basic understanding about that, about this question. Okay, but still I would like to draw that figure. Okay, so which is mentioned in the textbook. So guys, in the textbook, no, first there is a container. So let us draw a container. This is just a rough diagram. Okay, I am not going to be doing the exact same size. Okay. Okay guys, so now we drew a container. So in this container there are a lot of gulab jamuns. Okay, so now let us draw the gulab jamuns. It is in the shape of a cylinder. Okay, so we are supposed to draw a cylinder. Okay, so the gulab jamuns are in this shape. Okay, it is just a rough figure. Okay, it is just to understand. Okay guys, so this is the container which contains lot of gulab jamuns and there is a syrup, right? Of course, if we find gulab jamun contains syrup, am I right? So let us draw the syrup, I mean let us put this line that which indicates syrup, am I right? Okay, so this is the basic diagram which is mentioned in the question in the textbook. Okay, so though it is easy, though they had mentioned it in the textbook, we are supposed to show the closer look of that gulab jamun. Okay, so according to the question, the gulab jamun, it is in the shape of a cylinder with two hemispherical ends. What does it mean, a cylinder? So let us draw a cylinder. So gulab jamun, okay, let us draw a cylinder, then you will understand. I am drawing a little bit big for your understanding. Okay. Okay, so I just drew the basic structure of a cylinder. Okay, and then okay, so we can actually put the edges. Okay, so do you guys know this is a cylinder? Of course, this is a cylinder. Am I right? So there are two hemispherical ends according to the question. So you can see two hemispherical ends. Am I right? So let us draw hemisphere. They mention two hemispherical ends. So these are the ends which is having two hemispheres. Okay. Okay guys, so finally we drew the closer look and the closer look and a rough figure of a gulab jamun. Okay, so remember guys, in this question the gulab jamun, it is in the shape of cylinder as well as hemisphere. Okay, so if possible I'll just show the image also. Okay, alright guys. Okay, so this is a closer look of a gulab jamun. They had mentioned the length of the gulab jamun, right? So the length is 5 centimeter, diameter is 2.8 centimeter. Okay, so length means the complete figure. Am I right? I mean, so the length, they mentioned the length of the complete figure. So okay, so the length is 5 centimeter or meter, centimeter. Okay, alright, and then diameter. So the diameter is it is 2.8, right? So instead of writing it here, I am gonna draw the line right over here and I am gonna write, okay, 2.8 centimeter. This is the diameter. Okay, alright guys, so now we understood the figure and we mentioned the values. Am I right? That is 5 centimeter and diameter is 2.8 centimeter. So what did I tell you guys in the starting of the question? In the starting of the question, I told you guys that we are supposed to find the how much syrup can one gulab jamun can hold. Okay, why are we finding how much syrup can be found in one gulab jamun? Why? Because we want to know how much syrup would be found in 45 gulab jamuns. And am I right? So we are supposed to find syrup that is there in 45 gulab jamuns. Am I right? We are supposed to find this. Am I right? So for 45 gulab jamuns, to find it, to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns, it is literally difficult. Am I right? So to make it easy, if we just find how much syrup is there in one gulab jamun, then we can actually find for 45 gulab jamuns. You guys might be wondering how is it possible. So when we will just solve it, that time you will get to know. Okay, so now we are supposed to find syrup found in one gulab jamun. Okay, we are going to be finding it. Why am I finding it? Why? Because to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns. Okay, so since just because to find 45 gulab jamun syrup, I am going to be finding the how much syrup is there in one gulab jamun. Okay, alright, so now I am going to be writing. Okay guys, so now let us write syrup found in one gulab jamun. How to find it? How to find means, I just told you guys, right, in the starting of the question there is a clue. So what is the clue? So the clue is 30% of its volume. So they mentioned that a gulab jamun, they mentioned a means single gulab jamun. Am I right? So a single gulab jamun contains sugar syrup up to 30% of its volume. So now we are finding how much syrup is found in one gulab jamun. So since they mentioned here that a gulab jamun, that is the one gulab jamun has sugar syrup up to 30% of its volume. Okay, so they mention the percentage approximately, not approximately, they mentioned that percentage, that is the correct one. Okay, so they mentioned 30% of its volume. So volume means that syrup which is there inside the one gulab jamun, no, that is the meaning of volume. Okay, so so since we have 30% of its volume, I am going to be writing it as it is. Why? Because it's going to be useful. Why? Because this 30% of its volume is found in one gulab jamun, right? So it might be useful for us. Okay, it can come handy, so we can actually write it 30% of volume. Okay, so of volume, of course you guys know in the question they mentioned a gulab jamun, that means it is one, am I right, of one gulab jamun. Okay guys, so now what to do guys? So since you guys know, whenever we have percentage, okay, so we studied this in 8th and 7th standard. I hope you guys can recall it. Okay, if you don't just recall it, I'll help you with this, with it. Okay, all right, so there is so they mentioned that 30%. So 30% means, so what is the meaning of percentage? So whenever we have percentage, in maths we used to write 30 by 100. Do you remember this? Why we used to write? Why? Because whenever we used to have percentage, no, we used to write instead of percentage, no, we used to write 30 by 100. Okay, this is how we write percentage. Okay, so we studied this in 7th 8th standard, so it is literally a common thing for us, am I right? So no need to explain that detailedly. Okay, so finally I just wrote this, am I right? So and then here of volume of one gulab jamun. Okay, so 30 by 100, if I just multiply it with volume of one gulab jamun, I just wrote it as it is. Okay, okay, so why am I doing it like this? I'll say you guys. So here the question is, why did I write multiplication? So here they mentioned 30% of volume, am I right? So they mentioned of. So of means into, multiplication. Okay, so this one we studied it in 7th standard. So I hope it is you guys know that. Okay, so so percentage we are supposed to write it like this, and then here since we had of, I just wrote multiplication and rest of the sentence as it is. Okay, alright, so now what are we supposed to do? That is the question. Okay, so we have 30 by 100, okay, and then into volume of one gulab jamun. So do you guys know what is the volume of one gulab jamun? Did they mention it in the question? No guys, they didn't just mention the volume of one gulab jamun. So we are supposed to find the volume of one gulab jamun, am I right? So let us find it. How to find it? It is literally easy guys, so we can actually find it. Okay, so since you guys know, I am going to be finding the volume of one gulab jamun, so let's write that. So I am going to find it separately, and then we can multiply with 30 by 100. Okay, so since you guys know, I am going to be finding the volume of one gulab jamun. So what is the figure? So here since you guys know, this is a figure, am I right? So in this figure we have one cylinder, and then we have two hemispheres, am I right? So I am going to be finding the volume of one cylinder and volume of two hemispheres. Okay, since we have two hemispheres, we are supposed to mention two hemispheres. Okay. Okay, so let us mention volume of one cylinder. Okay, I am just writing half, and then volume of two hemispheres. I am just writing hemis. Okay, you can actually write full word. Okay, so now we are supposed to apply the formula. How to apply it? So of course you guys know volume of cylinder. So what is the volume of cylinder? So here be careful, here we are finding volume. Okay, so don't get confused. One second. Okay, so now let us find the volume of one gulab jamun. For that we should apply formula, that is, what is the volume of one cylinder? So the volume of one cylinder that means what is the volume of cylinder? We are supposed to apply the formula. So the volume of cylinder is pi r square h. Okay, and then plus what is the volume of two hemispheres? So first of all, here we have two hemispheres, right? So let us mention the two at first. Okay, and then let us put multiplication, or you can just put bracket, both are same only. Okay, so now let us apply the formula. What is the volume of hemisphere? So the volume of hemisphere is 2 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, so this is the volume of hemisphere. Okay guys, so now we are supposed to take common values. Okay, so let us take common values. So here we have pi and here also we have pi, so we can take pi common, and here we have r square. So what is the radius? We didn't just find the radius, so no worries, we can actually find it. Okay, okay, so here also we have r square and here we have r cube. Here I am going to be taking r square as common. Okay, alright, so let us take r square common and then bracket. So let us write h as it is. Why? Because it is not a common value. And then here 2 2s are, it is 4 and 4 by 3, right? So in middle we have plus, let us write it as it is, and 4 by 3. And then here we took okay, here we took pi as common, so no need to include that. And here we have r cube. So here we took r square as common, so like let us take one r as, another one r. Okay, whatever things it's left out, we are supposed to write it. Okay, okay. So now we are supposed to write the values. How to find it? So we know the pi value, but we don't know the radius, right? So it is easy to find the radius. Okay, so we know the diameter, right? So the diameter is 2.8, then the radius now 2.8 by 2, that is half of diameter. We are supposed to find it like this. Okay, so when we just cancel it, I get 1, and then here 1 2s are 2 and point, and then 4 2s are 8. So the radius is 4, once again 1 by 4 centimeter. Okay, alright, so now let us write that. Now let us apply that value. Okay, alright, so is equal to, so pi is 22 by 7 into 1 by 4 and then into 1 by 4. Why? Sorry, 1.4. Okay, so 1.4. Why am I writing it 2 times? Why? Because here it is r square. Okay, and then bracket. So what is the h? H we didn't just find it, right? Yeah, we can actually find it. So here since you guys know, so according to the formula we have pi r square h. So this is we are supposed to find the height of the cylinder. But according to the question, they didn't just mention the height of the cylinder, right? So what to do now? But we have a clue. So what is the clue? So the clue is we have a length value, that is 5 centimeter, and we know the radius as well as the diameter. Am I right? Okay guys, so since you guys know the radius, so what is the radius? So the radius is 1.4. Okay, then till here. So since you guys know hemisphere doesn't have a height, right? So here what will be the value of this line? So I just drew a line, right? So what will be the value? So the value is 1.4. Why? Because the radius is 1.4. No, that's why this line is also, it has 1.4 as the value. Okay, then here also. Okay, so what is the radius? So the radius is 1.4 and here also it will be 1.4. Am I right? So remember guys, this is not a height of this hemisphere. Why? Because hemisphere doesn't have a height. Okay, alright guys. So now why did I drew a line? Why? Because here I have 1.4 and here also I have 1.4, right? So if I just add 1.4 plus 1.4, I get 2.8. Am I right? So since you guys know they had already mentioned the length, that is 5 centimeter, then if I subtract 5 minus 2.8, then I get 2.2 centimeter. Am I right? Then this will be the height of a cylinder. This is how we are supposed to find the height of the cylinder. Okay, Okay, so since you guys know, we are supposed to draw a line here. Why? Because to find the height of the cylinder. Okay, to find the height of the cylinder, we are supposed to draw it like this. Okay, why did I draw the line? Why? Because to find the height of the cylinder. Okay, so 1.4 plus 1.4 is 2.8. So the complete length of the figure is 5 centimeter. So when I subtract 5 minus 2.8, I get 2.2. So that is the height of the cylinder. Okay. Okay guys, so since you guys know the height of the cylinder, we can actually write 2.2 and then plus 4 by 3 as it is. And what is the radius? So the radius is 1.4, right? Yeah, we can actually write into and 1.4. Okay, so now we are supposed to solve this. Okay, so to solve it, first of all, now we can actually take off the points. So when I just take off this point, it becomes 10, and here also when I just take off this point, it becomes 10, and here I have 7, here I have 14, so I can cancel it. 1 7 is 7, 7 2s are 14. Okay, now after cancelling it, what we can do? Okay, we can actually leave it like this. Okay, so now here also I'm going to be taking off the point. So make sure that you guys take off the point, then it will be handy for you guys. Okay. Okay, so after taking off the point, now let us write the values, whatever values we are going to be getting right now. Okay, so now, so 22 into 2 is 44, and then here we have into 14, so we took that point off, right? So no need to mention the point. 14 and 10 into 10, so we can actually write 10 into 10 as it is. Okay. Okay, so 10 into 10 and then bracket, and then here first, okay, so first what we can actually do is, so here also I am going to be writing 22 by 10 as it is. Okay, and then plus here we are going to be solving. So 4 into 14 is 56, and then 3 into 10 is 30. Okay, so now what we can actually do is we can take LCM. So this is plus. Okay, okay, I am going to be taking LCM right over here. Okay, 1 second. Okay guys, so now let us take LCM. Okay guys, so first of all let us write these values as it is. So it is 44 into 14, so 44 into 14 and down it is 10 into 10, right? So 10 into 10 is equal to, okay, so now when we just take LCM, no, we'll get 66 plus 56 by 30, we'll get something like this. Okay, okay, so you can just try it. Okay, so again I am going to be writing this 44 into 14 as it is by 10 into 10. Okay, so now 66 plus 56 is 122. Yeah, so 122. So here since it is in bracket, we can actually write multiplication by 30. Okay, so now what we can do? So now we can multiply them, right? Okay guys, so now let us multiply. So now let me write 44 as it is. So if I just multiply, 1 second. Okay, so why did I write 3000 down? Why? Because 30 into 10 into 10. Since everything is in multiplication, I did 30 into 10 into 10. Okay, so it will come 3000. So let me just multiply 14 into 122. So when I just multiply, I get 1708. Okay, okay guys, so now what we can actually do is, so we can actually multiply 44 into 1708. So when we just multiply them, we get a number, that is this number. Okay, so finally we got 75,000 152. So this is one, okay. So 75,152 divided by 3000. Okay, so this 3000 I just wrote it as it is. Okay, so we can actually stop it right over here. So if you want to solve it, no, it is going to be hard. Okay, but you will just waste your time. So we can stop the answer right over here. Okay, so since we found the volume, so this one, no, this calculation is continuation of this part, am I right? So here we just found the volume, am I right? So just because we found the volume, so it is, we are supposed to write centimeter square or centimeter cube. We are supposed to write centimeter cube. Okay, alright. So you guys might be wondering, why did we find this? So why? Because after doing the percentage, that is 30 by 100 into volume of 1 gulab jamun, we didn't know what is the volume of 1 gulab jamun. To find that, I found out that in the gulab jamun, no, we had one cylinder, so we are supposed to find volume of one cylinder plus volume of two hemispheres. So when I just apply the formula and solve it, I get 75,152 by 3000. Okay, so what we can do is we can actually apply this value in the place of volume of 1 gulab jamun. Okay, so instead of applying it there, we can actually apply it here. Okay, so both are same only, right? Okay, so let us apply that. 1 second. Yeah, so let us write 30 by 100 as it is, and into we found the volume of 1 gulab jamun, that is 75,152 by 3000. Okay, okay guys, so let us write, so into 75,152 by 3000. Okay, so now what we can do is we can actually cancel this 30, and here also we can cancel it, am I right? Okay, so we can cancel it, and then what we can do? Okay, so since you guys know, we just cancelled both the 30, so you can just cancel it in 30 table. Okay, so when I just cancel it, here I get 1 and here I get 1, am I right? So now I have 1 into 75,152. So when we just multiply 1 into 75,152, I get 75,152. Okay, and then here 100 into 100. So here, since you guys know, here we have 2 zeros, and here also we have 2 zeros, right? So here 100 into 100, right? So when we just multiply 100 into 100, we get 10,000. So let us write 10,000. Okay, so 10,000. Okay, so we can actually check the zeros. Why? Because we are supposed to check each and everything, right? So here we have 2 zeros, here also we have 2 zeros left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now finally we got a value, right? So instead of writing it like this, we can actually write it in decimal in point, am I right? So we can actually write it like that. So I can write 75,152. So here 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and point. Okay, so I am supposed to write it like this. So here also we found the volume of one gulab jamun. So since it is volume, it is centimeter cube. Okay, so now we got this answer. Okay, so finally we know how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun. Am I right? So that is 7,5152. Okay, so this much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun. Am I right? So finally we found that. Am I right? So why did we find it? 1 second. Why did we find it? Why? Because we want to know how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns, right? To find this only, we just found 1 gulab jamun syrup. Why? Why? Because it is literally hard to find for 45 gulab jamuns. If we get to know for 1 gulab jamun how much syrup is there, no, then it is literally easy to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns. How? How much we can, after finding this 1 gulab jamun, in how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun, we can actually multiply with 45. Okay, so how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun? So we found it, am I right? That is 7.5152. So we got this much this value, am I right? So this much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun. So the actual question is we are supposed to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamun. 1 second. Yeah. So how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns, right? Am I right? So we are supposed to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns. So, so I just told you guys it was literally easy to find how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun. Am I right? So we just found it. So how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun? That is 7.5152 centimeter cube. So this much syrup is syrup was there in 1 gulab jamun. Okay. So what to do? What to do, guys? So to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns, so we are supposed to multiply 45 into syrup found in 1 gulab jamun. Okay. We are supposed to do like this. Okay. Why? Because if you know how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun, then it is easy to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns. Just multiply it. That is the simplest thing. Am I right? So now let us multiply. So 45 into how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun, guys? So in 1 gulab jamun we have 7.5152 centimeter cube. So later on we can actually write it. Okay. So now when we just multiply it, we get 338.18. So this is not the exact value. When we just multiply, no, we won't get this value. This is just approximately. Okay. Okay. So just approximately we just wrote 338.18. Okay. Alright, guys. So now it is centimeter square or cube. So in the entire question we just found the volume, right? So it is centimeter cube. Okay. So this is our final answer. So we can actually write 338.18 centimeter cube. If you want to write approx, you can actually write. Okay, guys. So finally we found the answer. Okay. So whenever you get a question like this, so this is really an important question. You can just face questions like this in exam. Okay. So I hope you guys understood this. So remember, guys, whenever we have a large number, for example, here it was extremely difficult to find how much syrup is there in 45 gulab jamuns, right? So to make it easy, I just found how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun. Am I right? I just applied the cylinder formula and then hemisphere formula, and I just found it, and then we had a clue that is 30% of its volume. Am I right? By using it, I just got the syrup, how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun. So after finding 1 gulab jamuns, how much syrup is there in 1 gulab jamun, so after finding it, I just multiplied it 45. Okay. So this is a basic thing. We just studied this in smaller classes as well. So of course it is this is just a basic thing. Okay. So just multiply it with 45, then we will get the answer. Okay, guys. So finally we found the answer. So the answer is 338.18 centimeter cube. Okay.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like this video, share it to your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any doubt, comment me in the comment section. Catch you in the next video. Bye.